Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an awe intuitive conversation. Aloha. So, you heard the phrase work smarter, not harder. Well, I encourage individuals to live smart. And today I have the pleasure of connecting with Michelle. So, let's bring her to the screen. Aloha, Michelle.
Aloha.
How are you today?
Fantastic. Delighted to be here.
I'm so excited for my connection with you. And here's what sparked that. I connect with all my guests through LinkedIn. And the thing that was attracting me on your LinkedIn profile was that you describe yourself as a business alchemist. And the fact that you use the word alchemist, not everyone used that, but right away I was like, ooh, she's into like this spiritual Zen conversation kind of thing. So tell me a little bit about you and this whole what brought you to that term of business alchemist? What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, alchemy is about transformation. And
Yes.
so when I began my business career back in 2005, and I won't bore you with all of those details, but what I will say to you is in that time period, a lot has changed for me. The way that I show up for work, the people that I work with, but more importantly, like the feelings that I want to have in work. And
Mm,
so when I was working to develop like sort of a title, right, to define the work that I do, alchemist just kept coming to me. And so I chose business alchemist versus coach, although you'll see that's part of it because some people
mhm.
are like, wait, what?
What is that? Yes, because
I
like I
know,
said,
right?
not everybody's familiar with that term.
No, no, but it's all about transformation. So I don't consult as much with people to tell them what to do, but it's like, how can I help someone that I'm working with create the transformation that they want to create in their life and in their business? Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, I love that term, and like I say, it does talk about transformation,
Yeah.
which is interesting. The card that I already had came out here was the
Mhm.
Three of Wands, and what it says on this is on the ship that's flying. The word literally says opportunity, and
Mm.
it says planning for the long term, abundance from past choices, pride in the success of your labors. Be patient as you decide what's next. So a lot of times, I know when people are dealing with their business, there is a lots of frustration and just anxiety that can come along with that. So what you do as a business alchemist, tell me a little bit more about how do you help your
Yeah.
clients in their transformation process?
Well, I think one of the first things I do is to ask them to reconnect with why they started the business in the first place.
Mm,
So often we start a business because there's some feeling that we want to have.
mhm,
We are looking for possibly, for me personally, it was the feeling of being able to be there for my children when they were much smaller. My baby's now 23 and in college, but at the time, back in '05, she was only 6 years old. I
hmm,
was working ridiculous hours. So for me, it was a feeling, right? I wanted to have more time with family. And so I start every time that I work with a client, every conversation I have with, why is it that you started your business? And then through that conversation, sometimes it's interesting. I will then later ask them, well, what would success look like to you, maybe in 5, 10, something years, right?
mhm,
And oftentimes, what's really funny is they divert away from that.
hmm,
And then I catch them and I remind them, hey, wait, what was that feeling that you wanted to have? And I can't tell you how many people have in their heart and in their soul this version of success, right? That's what they want to do. That's why they started it. That's the feeling that they want. But then society tells them something else. And
yes,
when they look ahead, they think, oh, well, by then I need to be doing what society has told me that I need to do. So part of my work is like helping people to recalibrate just back to that initial feeling and going from there and creating a business that supports that feeling, not what society tells us that we should or have to be doing in order for things to be success.
Yeah, so the next card that had came out is really in line with what you said. The theme is innocent. The trigger
Yeah.
is, it says, I have so much to do. The true
Mm,
statement, I am playful. It says, let the burdens of responsibility go in this moment and look at your world through the eyes of a child. And it's very much kind of like how you were saying, it's like, what was it that you used to dream about? Because, like, when we were kids, we have all these dreams, like, I wanted to be this and do that. And it was like, what sparked that? And so, in essence, it sounds like that's what you're kind of saying. It's like taking it back to the child's play, the innocent. Why
yeah.
did you start this business? It wasn't because I have so much to do and you got caught up in the business side of it, but the fun, the
Yeah.
play, what was the the opportunity that you were looking for with that.
Yeah.
So tell me about, like I said, because you said you started your business and having this opportunity of wanting to spend more time with your child and
Mhm.
connecting with them. How did you live out the philosophy of keeping it fun, of remembering why you start your business for it to be playful? How did you do that?
Well, I would say it wasn't until multiple times I got it wrong that I realized like this wasn't working. But what I would say is there were multiple dark nights of the soul. But what I will consolidate them down to is like really just having this feeling of hating my business.
Mm,
Here I start this thing, to help people to do this work and to be, more available to my family, only to like create something that was exactly the opposite, right?
mm,
I was back in my old law firm paradigm, right? I was doing exactly the thing that I used to do, working 60, 70 hours a week, being gone, et cetera, et cetera. And it wasn't
mhm.
until like, this total crying fest, if you will, ugly cry, that I began to just write down like everything I wanted to change. And
Yes.
slowly but surely, I began to tick those things off the list. But what was the most important thing is I had control of changing those. And they didn't all happen overnight, but it was so empowering just having that list and looking at it and going, yeah, this I made this. I can change this.
Yes. The release. So the next card when you were talking about the whole lawyer and like, when you think
Yeah.
of lawyers, like you want to avoid being in this jail and trapped. And it was
Yeah.
like, okay, how do I get out of this situation? Like, so I have created this whole business that's not what I wanted it, you know, to be. And so it's like, okay, what do I need to release
Yeah.
in order for it to serve? And so the next card that came up here was this whole
Mm,
optimism, looking
mm,
ahead, which back here, going back to the future, which kind
opportunity.
of looks like the same background as well.
Yeah.
With the moon back there, it's just like, okay, what's ahead? What's in the future for me? And so it's interesting that I should say moon. So the next question that's being called to me is, tell me about your necklace.
My necklace, thank you. I have just always I won't say always. I have tried to live my life by cycles of the moon, right? To pay attention to it, right? I figure if it can control oceans, that it is a powerful energy, and so it's sort of a reminder at times to stay connected to that. So I create new moon wishes on the full moon, and I do a little bit of releasing on, I'm sorry, new wishes on the new moon and releasing on
Yes,
the full moon. That was hard to say. Anyways, nevertheless, yeah, it's a reminder. Yeah, there's
like I
something
said, the
powerful.
whole release.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then, like I said, looking towards what do I want in the future, the optimism
Yeah.
with that. So the
Yeah.
next one that came out was the theme of connection. And the trigger statement here says it's too much. The true statement, I am grounded in my body. Use your empathic abilities to connect with others. Discern the information you receive and do not take on what is not your own.
Yeah.
So now that you have your business, and like you said, you're helping individuals that sound like have experienced some of the struggles that you had in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
How do you keep from taking on their
Mm.
worries, their frustration, their anxieties back into your life.
Yeah. I would say, again, I think that's a work in progress. I think anybody who comes to me knows that it's, my heart really wants them to have exactly what they want. And oftentimes I think about them in between sessions, in between visits, whatever the case might be. But I think the way that I do it is I spend a lot of time journaling. The desk behind me is my little sacred space, and that's where I journal. And oftentimes will pull cards myself,
Mhm.
and do my own, I think, spiritual work to help me, reconnect to my purpose in working with them, right? They didn't come to me to fix it. They came to me so that they could fix what's going wrong with them and their business. I'm just there to support, guide them, hold their hand, hold space, whatever.
Yes. Love that. 'Cause so many times you can take on their energetic, feel their frustrations and all those different things. And what I loved is that you said you're not there to fix them,
Yeah.
which is a rabbit trail that people can kind of go down like, oh, I have to fix you because you quote unquote paid me to coach you and I have
Yeah.
to know everything and all the solutions. So I love that.
Yeah.
So next question is coming through. You said you talk about journaling. What was your journal prompt about a week ago?
If I had it in front of me, I would say, oh goodness, what was my journal prompt about a week ago? I will say my journaling is oftentimes I will ask myself a question. What do I need to know today? What do I need to hear today? What do I need to be reminded of today? And I will sometimes pull an oracle card and then
Mm-hmm.
use that as a guidance to do journaling from. There's a couple of different decks that I enjoy, but I think the one that I was remembering from about a week or so ago was Inner Wisdom. And just the reminder to connect to our inner wisdom, whatever we see or believe that to be, and lead from there. Yeah.
Yes. So when you were talking, I was saying, okay, what is the embodiment that Michelle is exuding? And have you ever heard of Kuan Yin?
No. Ooh.
So this is Kuan Yin,
Yeah.
and she is
Mm,
about care and compassion. And this is what it says on the card: choose to be loved, do what is right for everyone involved, offer a helping hand. And when you were explaining, like I said, about your business and helping other individuals, in essence, that's what I'm like,
yeah.
doing and caring for you and showing compassion. But since you're not familiar with her, let me fill this about. So
Thank you.
this is the message. Kuan Yin is a Buddha Vista, Buddha-like God, and the goddess of mercy, compassion, and love. Though she's acknowledged in Buddhism and the traditions of China, she goes beyond religion and warms the heart of all who call on her. She has a strong connection to healing energy, in particular Reiki, and encourages people to offer care, forgiveness, and compassion to themselves and others.
Mm,
Compassion is about recognizing the spirit in others. It's about seeing that you come from the same source as you do. So that very much connects with your whole energy, with that, with the compassion and love. And so I'm feeling compelled. Michelle, do you know what your name means?
Um, e- Child of God.
Okay, so when I was connecting with you, very much it says, who resembles God?
uh,
And Kuan Yin has showed up as very symbolic of that same thing. And here's the extended message. First of all, the keepers of light want to acknowledge all of the service and commitment you have offered to others. You are all love. If you're finding it difficult for anyone in the moment, the best way you can move forward is to go beyond wanting to understand why or how they are the way they are. Just move beyond their behavior, mistakes, and challenges. This card brings a message of friendship and care, helping you see that those around you do have the best intentions, even if it doesn't always seem that way. Move into compassion and develop a greater understanding. This will elevate your spirit and connection to love.
mm.
What resonates with you with about that?
Well, I will say I love her even more and might have to pick that deck up to add it to my collection.
Yes,
I
it's the
won't tell
Keepers
you
of
the
the Light
ridiculous.
deck. Yes.
Yeah, I won't tell you the ridiculous collection I have, but nevertheless, what I hear from that is I think something for all of us. Like, if we can lead from compassion, if we can, start our day and our work and spend more time in that space, the space of compassion and kindness, um, yeah, gosh, imagine the world. I mean, I just changed the profile image, not the image, the background image on my Facebook page this morning, and it said, "Be kind." It's just something that I believe in, and that
Mm.
really resonates with me, that kindness and compassion, and yeah, yeah.
Well, like I said, it's you have qualities that are resembling God's with the care and compassion, with Queen Yin, and like I said, it seems like you're very much embodying that in what you do. The next thing that's coming out also is success. So you have on your profile here, soul crafted success. Tell me about what that means.
Mm. It kind of ties back into what I was saying a moment ago about my work. And I believe
Hmm.
that each and every one of us has a different version of success, and that I think it's as unique as our fingerprints. And unfortunately, society tells us what success should look like, right? But
Hmm.
our hearts and our souls know what success is to us. And when we're able to reconnect to that, when we're able to show up and do our work in the world, whatever work that is, from that place, then I think we're satisfied more, we're fulfilled more, and I think our work makes a bigger impact because we are in that great space.
Yes. Okay. So next you have Anne Rand. Have
Mm.
you ever heard of her before?
Yeah, Aaron Rand.
So
Yep.
here. So this came up with the car. I was saying, okay, um, because this deck is the success oracles. And I
Mm.
was like, okay, who's another business person in out there that would connect to resonate with Michelle? And it says self-interest has mass appeal. Find like-minded individualists. Those who live in glass houses will not be told what they can and cannot throw.
Mm.
So again, she's in this whole protective energy, field geometry type individual field. So you're familiar with her?
Yes, she was a writer way the turn of the last century, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, she's showing up with you. Because I am not. Uh, hmm. Okay, so eager to leave the freshly minted USSR, Anne Rand boarded the USS Elise's Island with a heart full of ambition and a head back here
Mhm.
boarding this ship. Back okay. In 1943, Capitalism number one fan published a novel, The Fountainhead. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just got a total chill because the connection for The Fountainhead. I read The Fountainhead
Mhm.
for a scholarship. That book is like 700 some pages, which was like a
It's
lot for
huge.
a high schooler.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's about a modernist architect doing things his way or the highway, unless that highway is funded by Roosevelt's New Deal. The Fountainhead and later Atlas Shrugged circulated Rand's philosophy of objectivism and individualism, promoting self supremacy or acting in one's rational self interest to pursue prosperity and happiness. Boy, witness one violent communist revolution and suddenly your whole life about propaganding oppositional dogma. So, and I placed it right under this glass bulb
Hmm.
here. Um, but again, in a trapezoid, but at the same time next to this whole trapping thing. Um, but you're successful. So the next question is coming through. Do you have a concern about your business right now?
Mm. It's an always evolving um, endeavor. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I made a big shift, and actually, there's an email open right now that I'll be writing to my entire list about another lane change, as I like to say. While I'm still coaching and still supporting people in that space, I'm actually adding some plant medicine to a lot of my work, having studied herbalism now for the last couple of years. So I'm
Hmm.
excited to bring in more things that can help people to release whatever those blocks are, to support them in burnout, in all of the things that come up as being in being entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Go forth. Just be comfortable in that. I don't know if you're having some reservation, a little bit about
Oh,
like how
always.
that may be received. Which as we started, that not everyone understands this whole spirituality
Mm-mm.
um realm. But going back to this pride and success in your labors, be patient as you decide what's next. So they're encouraging as you go forth and you're doing those steps. Like, yeah, there's something that may pop up that feels like what are people going to think or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, just know that this is your path, and that have care. Okay, having care and compassion for others.
Hmm.
Make sure you have that for yourself as well.
Mm, thank you. That was an excellent reminder.
Yeah, and all will be well.
Yeah.
So, if individuals want to connect with you and learn more about your coaching, your business, and like learning what you do, how can people reach out to you?
Well, I am all over social and on the web, michellespalding.com.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for connecting with me today and being a guest on All Intuitive Conversation. For those that are watching live or at a replay, we hope that you too were encouraged to live smart, innocent to new levels of success in your work and life. If you're interested in being a guest on All Intuitive Conversation, reach out to me at my website, All Intuitive Conversation. And until we meet again, this has been an All Intuitive Conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.